Donald Trump has a history of pulling back from the brink, um, on Iran because the consequences of conflict remain the same. If there's the old saying, "Don't strike the king unless you plan on killing the king," because if you strike the king and the king's still alive, king's going to kill you. Iran's the king of the region. Let's just be straight up about that. Iran has the ability to terminate um, all energy production capabilities in the region at will. In addition, Iran has the ability to inflict horrific harm on um, American military bases, to include the potential of killing hundreds, if not thousands, of American service members. Um, I think we have to keep in the back of our head the possibility of the United States losing some ships, up to and including an aircraft carrier. Um, and Iran, of course, has the ability to deliver near lethal damage to Israel. Israel has told the United States that it's apparently, according to news reports, that it's prepared to absorb up to 700 Iranian ballistic missiles, um, if the United States can guarantee that whatever military action is taken removes the Iranian regime from power. Uh, yeah, I've got bad news for U.S. military planners. Let's just be straight up and honest about this. You don't have what it takes to remove Iran's military and civilian leadership from power, especially now that you've literally broadcast your punch. This isn't going to be a repeat of June, where you lulled the Iranians into a false sense of complacency by leading them to believe that there would be ongoing negotiations about their nuclear program. And they went to bed at night only to be attacked by Israel with the backing of the United States in a decapitation attempt that failed. Um, the Iranians have been preparing for more than 20 years now to wage an existential conflict against Israel, the United States, and the West. Um, they have divided their nation up into self-sustaining military and governing districts, under the assumption that there could be a decapitation strike against Tehran. Not that it would eliminate the leadership, but it could eliminate the ability of the leadership to communicate with the various regions of Iran. So the Iranians have built underground cities, underground command posts, that are capable of independently overseeing the designated terrain. And they're also capable of independently continuing to resist against, you know, enemies, both those who may be threatening Iran from within and also striking those without. The Iranian government has a buried city in Mashhad. I would imagine that they have their own continuity of government plan in place, and that the appropriate leaders have been sent to the appropriate places. As we learned with the case of Firdo, the underground nuclear enrichment plant. Firdo was basically a modified, pre-existing underground cavern that was created by the Iranians for resilience. They have dozens, if not more, of these around the country, many of which we don't know about, where they can hide production equipment, they can hide sensitive military equipment, they can hide documents, they can hide government office spaces, they can hide enrichment capabilities. The Iranians would be fools not to have implemented whatever plans they need to implement for, national existential resilience. And so we blew it. I mean, if you're going to carry out a decapitation strike, it has to be done by surprise. You don't telegraph your punch. And, even if the United States were to come in with nuclear weapons, and I don't see them doing that, they're not going to eliminate the Iranian regime. It just isn't going to happen. And what's going to happen is that the Iranians are going to deliver a knockout punch against Israel that very well may end Israel's ability to survive as a modern state by taking out critical infrastructure that will not be repaired anytime soon, making Israel basically uninhabitable for millions of people who have to flee Israel. And demographically, that's the end of Israel. Um, the the Iranians are prepared not only to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, but to permanently disrupt the ability of regional uh, energy producing nations to produce energy. This will have, a near fatal impact on the global economy. I mean, I fear for me and for my family and for the United States the consequences. The dollar's already lost 10% of its value in the past year. We're looking at the potential of a complete collapse of the dollar. Um, and energy prices out of control. This is the consequence of this. And hopefully there's people that are smart enough to say, hey, Mr. President, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work at this time. Let's not do this. This is foolhardy. You will lose the midterms. you will you will be impeached. There, all the things. So we'll see what Trump does, but right now it looks as if the pieces are being put in place to carry out a major military attack against Iran.